Welcome to Creative Spirit Gathering. This is your place, yours, for exploring and expressing in your art journal what is on your mind and heart. And today we are leaning into art as meditation, art as prayer, that we can lean into peace right here, right now, in this moment. And we will be drawing inspiration from the art of illuminations. So we will be, I will be talking with you about how I made this, and also sharing with you some artists from way back when that use similar art forms for going deeper. In this case, as I say, going deeper, I don't mean that level of perspective that we've been looking at, like traveling down a road or a path and going deep farther into an image in some way, but really going deeper within ourselves. And we're doing this type of artwork, illumination artwork, is enclosed space. So we'll be exploring this theme, this idea of enclosed space as a meditation for taking ourselves deeper. So I want to share with you a couple of images first off to get us started, to share with you some ideas of this idea of illumination art. As you can see here on this image, it's very intricate, detailed artwork. The Book of Kells is a collection or a depiction of the four Gospels in Latin. It's attributed to about the late 8th century. If you can get in there, look really close, there are lots of symbols. For those of you who like symbols, numbers, sacred geometry, this artwork is full of it, and it's lots of fun to go in and try to explore the mystical elements of it. And in fact, that's why it was created. This artwork was created not only as a meditation by the artist as they were creating it, but also intended as a meditation for the viewer. So you as the viewer can go in and look at illuminations like this and dive deep into it, diving deep in and really exploring the art itself as meditation, a way of taking you deeper within yourself, within the sacred artwork, within the idea of God present right where we are. And the art helps to draw us into that depth. The second image that I'm going to share with you is by an 11th century German Benedictine abbess named Hildegard von Bingen. If you are not familiar with her, especially you ladies out there, check her out. Okay, Hildegard, in addition to being an abbess, was a writer who wrote theological, botanical, and medicinal texts, as well as letters, liturgical songs, poems. She did it all. She's like one of the first, I love her for her healing work with herbs and herbalism. She was also a composer, a philosopher, a Christian mystic, a visionary, and a polymath. And she's also considered to be the founder of scientific natural history in Germany. I've been like geeking out on her lately, lately as in the last few years. And I hope that you'll, as artists and people on a spiritual path, enjoy her work as well. Check this image out. Now, she didn't personally draw out all of the images, but they were truly illuminations, things that were illumined in her mind, visions that she then would depict to somebody else who would draw them out. She would say, yes, that's what I see. Look at all the details in here. Again, not the best quality image, so get your own copy of the book. But this is from, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but it's Scivias, Scivias. And that was her first work. And she oversaw the illustrations in that. Again, talk about art as meditation. The practice of putting this on the page itself, the mandala shape, the circular image that she's enclosed this within. And then also as the viewer, what we can come in and take away, looking at all of the images within this sacred piece of art. Now with both of these images, and then the one that I drew to share with you today, we're talking about the idea of enclosed space. So think about your meditation practice, right? When we meditate, we are going within. We are intentionally creating space for inner depth. And these illuminations, I almost said illustrations, they are in a sense, but the illuminations are enclosed. They don't create this sense of like vast open landscape, right? They bring us into this sense of intimacy, a sense of almost quiet as we're exploring the image and the ideas within it. And as we're creating illuminations like this, we are engaged in creative meditation because the artwork itself becomes repetition. It becomes about being present. Now, I know some of you are going to look at this and go, but Jen, I'm not an artist. I don't draw fancy things. So I want you to know this was really easy to put together, and I timed myself. I gave myself 40 minutes because I didn't want to show you something that took me 2 hours and then give you 40 minutes to draw it. So this took me 40 minutes. The first thing that I did was I created a little template for myself. This was just out of a piece of cardboard that I had lying around in the studio. And then I just used it to create the centerpieces. I then copied a journal to draw the straight lines around the edge here. And then I just used my marker to sort of fatten them up, right? Give a little frame to each of those pieces. Now, bring it in closer and hold still a little bit so you can see. So the first thing that I did was the frame and that center piece. And then I began to move in with repetitions, to go in and simply, this was the first one I did, right, was these little scallop edges. And then I went back in and scallop again and then back in. So it was just simple repetitions, just continuing one little motion after another. Then I would go to a different area. The second thing I happened to do was this text because that's what was coming forward for me. And that then became sort of the mantra as I was doing the rest of the art, the focus for my mind. When my mind would start to wander, it would come back to let go, let God, let go, let God. And then I would move on to another area, create a little shape, create patterns within patterns. So I worked from the larger spaces into the smaller spaces. So these little areas, like the little lines within these patterns here, those came later. I started with sort of the bigger ones. And then this was actually the last one that I did was the little bubbles. So big shape to little shape. And it's just about pattern and repetition. And when we do that, we are allowing ourselves the space for our mind to rest. Right now, as always, right, we can look out at the world and we can find lots and lots of things that can occupy our minds. And they take our mind away from right here, right now. We have always, right, opportunities to bring ourselves back to the awareness of this moment, and not just this moment, but the awareness that spirit is present with me in this moment. There is always the opportunity to lean deeper into peace when we lean into prayer and meditation. And this type of artwork, creating your own illumination, can be one way of creating depth within your art journal, within your art, and within your life. It becomes a sacred, safe space for stillness and rest on the page. So today, I'm going to invite you to create your own illumination. You might want to start with a shape, as I did, the shape for me, right, became this pattern of 3 in the center. You could do something like this and do flower petals that go around, or you could create a heart cutout and make some, repetitions of hearts to represent love in your life and the love of the divine right where you are. You might wish to create circles and then just fill each one in with different patterns. We don't have to create angels and faces, but if they come through for you, go for it, right? If numbers and sacred geometry comes through for you, go for it. And if you want to simply create spiral and spiral and spiral within the frame of the page itself, it's another way to just lean in. It's just about repetition, about presence, and about allowing yourself to listen to that still small voice within as you are working through the process. So we're going to lean into our meditation now. We're taking a slightly shorter lesson today so that you have the time to really dig into this project and let yourself sink in. So we'll take this moment to lean into our meditation. So adjust your body if you need to. Take a deep breath. And feel yourself begin to relax. Relaxing into this present moment. If you notice thoughts of this morning, of yesterday, of last year, let them go. Just invite them to simply rest a moment. If you notice thoughts of the future popping into your mind, again, just invite them to rest. Say, hello, I see you. Sit down. We'll get back to you. It's so important sometimes to just acknowledge all the thoughts that we have going on in a single moment. And then draw your awareness to the breath itself. The breath bring you here and now. I am here. I am fully present to this now moment. Notice your shoulders and your body relax. I am here. I am in this now moment. Breathe that truth all the way into your heart as we rest for a moment of silence. The spirit of divine love is right here now. The spirit of peace washes over you now. The spirit of infinite creative potential lies within you now. Breathe that knowing in. Release. On the next breath, I invite you to begin to bring the awareness back to your body in this now moment. Gently flutter your eyes open as we say, thank you, Spirit, for this opportunity to lean in to peace through creative expression. I invite you to move now into your journal experience, again, exploring and expressing the idea of enclosed space, that this is your own illumination of this now moment, what seeks to come through you and to serve as a reminder for you of the presence of peace right here and now. And so it is. Enjoy the experience, my friends.